The information you need relating to the sport you love, all within 5 minutes. NASCAR in 5 starts right now. This weekend, NASCAR goes short track racing under the lights at Bristol Motor Speedway. A more detailed schedule of the two races is coming up later on. Hello everyone, welcome to NASCAR in 5. I'm your host Bryce Turner. First up, a look back to the past week when the sport visited Michigan and Mid-Ohio and the trucks raced at Bristol. Jeff Gordon won the Pure Michigan 400 in the Sprint Cup Series. This is his third victory of the season. Kevin Harvick, Joey Logano, Paul Menard, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. rounded out the top 5. With the win, Jeff Gordon has retaken the lead in the standings, but only by a mere 3 points over Dale Earnhardt Jr. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Matt Kenseth round out the top 5. For more post-race coverage, visit carnuts.ca and click on Closed Wheel Racing. Chris Buescher won the Nationwide Children's Hospital 200 from the Mid-Ohio Road Course. This is Buescher's first career Nationwide Series victory. Regan Smith and Brian Scott finished second and third. Chase Elliott continues to lead in the standings with a 10-point advantage over Regan Smith. Elliott Sadler is third, 16 points back. The trucks, meanwhile, were supposed to race Wednesday night, but after a rain postponement, they were in action yesterday morning. From Bristol, the UNOH 200, would you believe this is Brad Keselowski's first ever trucks win? Surprisingly, it is. Series regulars Darrell Wallace Jr. and Ron Hornaday Jr. followed Bad Brad across the start-finish line. Johnny Sauter leads in the standings by 8 points over Matt Crafton and 17 over Ron Hornaday Jr. It's time now for a news update. In the news, as anticipated, Carl Edwards will drive a fourth car for Joe Gibbs Racing next season. Edwards, who currently drives the number 99 for Roush Fenway Racing, will drive the number 19 for JGR. Also, Eris has signed on as a sponsor for 17 races. Meanwhile, Subway Restaurants is rumored to come on board for some of the other events, but that is just speculation at this time. JGR also announced that Daniel Suarez will drive full-time for the team in the Nationwide Series in 2015. In other news, Tony Stewart will not race this weekend. Jeff Burton will once again sub in behind the wheel of the number 14 Chevy. Stewart's decision on whether or not to race is on a week-to-week basis, so it is unknown if or when he will return to racing. Ryan Truex is set to resume his driving duties with BK Racing and the team's number 83 Toyota this weekend. This comes after Truex was sidelined last weekend following a concussion. The injury was the result of a crash in practice at Michigan. And with the chase, NASCAR's playoffs only 3 races away. The drivers with wins are locked in, but those without a victory are on the bubble. Let's take a look at the standings near the chase grid cutoff. Matt Kenseth, Ryan Newman, Clint Boyer, and Greg Biffle are in the chase at this time based on points. While Kenseth should be in it, the other 3 are still quite close. There's still 3 races to go and anything can happen. Those hoping something does happen are Casey Kane, Austin Dillon, and Kyle Larson, who look to work their way into the chase based on points, though I'm sure they take a win as well. It will be interesting to see how the next 3 weeks play out and who will make the chase. Stay tuned, this weekend's schedule is next. Here's a look at which races we'll be previewing for you next week here on NASCAR in 5. Tonight, the Nationwide Series Food City 300 from Bristol Motor Speedway. The race will begin at about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and will be broadcast on ESPN, TSN2, the Performance Racing Network, and SiriusXM. Kyle Busch has won the pole. He will start first in tonight's race. Meanwhile, tomorrow night it's the Sprint Cup Series Irwin Tools Night Race from Bristol. The race will also begin at around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Due to NFL preseason football in some markets, ABC will air the race in most regions, but not in others. Check your local listings. But in most regions, the race will be broadcast on ABC. TSN will show the contest in Canada, and radio coverage can be found on PRN and SiriusXM. Qualifying is coming up shortly and will air on ESPN too. Thanks for watching this week's edition of NASCAR 5. I'm Bryce Turner. Enjoy the races.